Okay. Concerning the Old Testament books, author / chronological table, you can argue, depending on whether or not you answered them, by way of the event or the author. And what I mean by that is that, for instance, with number 11, and I'm using yours for an example.
Okay.
With number 11, it is 1 Kings. Who's the author of 1 Kings? Most people say first is Jeremiah. Most people say Jeremiah is the author. All right, now, when I go to place him under time represented, I could put him under, now he has on here that his life is from 600 to 575. Well, actually that would be more or less his ministry. So he has his ministry is from 600 to 575. All right? If he goes by that, where does Jeremiah fall?
Say again.
If he goes by 600 to 575 BC.
That's the exile.
That will fall on the exile period, right?
Yeah.
So if he puts exile for that, then that could be correct, right?
Right.
But the reality of it is that 1 Kings does not come. The event does not come under exile. It's what?
Pre-exile.
It's pre-exile. Do you see what happened there? So what? You can have both of them. That's right. You can have both of them. But what I'm saying is, in his case, he could argue, well, you know what? In that particular case, I was doing it. I was doing it by the author rather than the event. And if you all do that, I'll give you credit for them. Now, some of them, there was no argument at all. But as I was going through it, I saw that there were two different things. Two different ways people look at it. So in a case like that, now, this would still be wrong. You see, because, no, it would be right if you base it off of the author's life. But what you have to, in your argument, you would come to me, and you would say, you know what? I understand that this was his life, and that I missed what?
The event.
The event. You see, there's a difference in the events. What he wrote about in 1 Kings, it did not happen during the exile period.
Right.
But when he wrote, it was during the exile period.
Right.
You see? So if you put in an argument, I'll give you that. You know why I'm going to give you that? Because if you can argue like that, that's not bad. If you does everybody understand what I'm saying?
You got to both mark pre-exile and exile.
It depends. Can I see what you're talking about? All right. Okay, everybody look at this. Which one are you referring to?
11.
11. Okay, for 11. All right, in her case. Now, let me ask you this, though. Why do you say pre-exile for 1 Kings?
Got that book up. Because this was in the book.
So where's exile come in? Because see, in 1 Kings, they don't talk about the exile period at all.
I got that book though.
Okay, now, if you notice, I didn't take off of that. Because the fact of the matter is, what you did was you covered the event and the life. You see, but you need to know that. You need to know that if they're talking about the book as far as the events, you need to know that it had nothing to do, 1 Kings had nothing to do with the exile period.
Right, okay.
All right? Does everybody understand? And I found myself, in some cases, I gave somebody credit for something and I didn't give the other. Because I thought, wait a minute. And then I noticed that there were two ways that you all were doing it. Event and author. So if you have either one of them, and you can come and tell me, you know what, this one was event, and you didn't give me. I put this in, marked this in reference to the event, and I also know that here's where the author goes. I'll give you credit for it. So go look over.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for my number 11 here, I have pre-exile, but then I have when the author dates, which is exile.
Yeah, and the date, the fact that the X is there.
Right.
So what I see now is that the author here, this is when the author wrote,
Right.
during the exile period.
Right.
All right? But he actually, the book refers to pre-exile.
Exactly.
All right.
From the date of the event.
Yeah, that's from the event. All right? So you all go, and you know what? If you want to work with each other, I'm fine. Because as long as you can explain it, I'll give you credit for it. All right? Now leave it up. Everybody, did you have another question?
No, that's
okay. All right. So those are the arguments. Really quickly, if you will. I gave you a handout, Ezekiel overview. I actually gave you all the Sunday school lesson. I gave you the Sunday for this Sunday. I gave you the Sunday school lesson. The first sheet is an overview of the book of Ezekiel. The first sheet, front and back. The latter sheet. Wait a minute. Something's wrong with yours. That's supposed to be on the front and back. Oh, okay. All right, okay. The latter sheet is the actual Sunday school lesson. Okay? And what I'm going to be doing every week is that second sheet. Every week I'm going to have a second sheet, and if you want, I'll email it or whatever. And when we start a new one, I'll give you a first sheet, which will be on that book. I'm going to start doing that again. My goal is to be able to have it set up where people all over the world, I'll be sending them Sunday school reviews ahead of time. Not to take the place of going to Sunday school, because I'm not going in detail. Just help you get a foundation. So you will not be justified in saying, I'll have to go to Sunday school. No, that's not what it's for. But to help you do some legwork. Here's what I'm interested in on there. Alright, and what I'd like for you to do, we're on two sides. So I'd like for each side. Listen to what I'm about to say. If each side could get together. Each side. And I want you to look at page 2 of the first sheet. Page 2 of the first sheet. I have a question. Page 2, paragraph 1. Is everybody there?
Okay.
Now, I believe that Ezra was a scribe. I believe Ezra was a scribe. And because Ezra was a scribe, and I know where he lived, I don't understand that paragraph. I need each side to get together and explain to me that paragraph, and you have 5 minutes.
You say yes,
Ezekiel, I'm sorry. Ezekiel. I'm sorry. Okay. Excuse me, I'm sorry, Ezekiel. Oh, and this is already in the folder in Edmodo, so you all can download it too.
Okay.
Because I'm saying, I believe Ezekiel was a scribe. I believe Ezekiel was a scribe. And because of that, I do not understand. I don't understand the paragraph. I need you all to explain me that paragraph.
Is this the page you're talking about?
Yes, page 2 at the top. Page 2 over here. Now remember, you all working, each side is working together.
You don't understand paragraph.
I don't understand paragraph 1. I need you to explain to me paragraph 1.
You want to go on the inside?
Yeah, but we just told me.
That's how you fix it, y'all.
Ezekiel wrote his own book. Okay, so now look down,
Come on here.
what's the chapter?
You all can talk together over here. They're talking together over there.
That's what he said.
Right, so he was saying that he looked like.
And he's trying to scribe in keeping his company.
What did the scribe?
Ezekiel wrote his own book. He said Ezekiel was.
But what did the scribe say? They were
The sin
right.
which had brought God's judgment on them. And to he wanted to keep them for them. That's right. And to assure them of God's gift to bless them with his house.
Ezekiel prophesied that they were going to fall, and he also prophesied that they'll get back up again. Right? If God's going to keep his promise, you're going to fall, but I got you, and you're going to come back. Okay, that's just 124. So he wrote it.
Fall of Jerusalem.
That's right.
To remind me of a capital.
Right. I believe so. That's what I'm saying. But then he was a scribe. If he wrote it, then he wrote about what was going to, what was going to happen, and what on each from points 1 and 2. the fall and the restoration.
But see, because it was written before the fall of Jerusalem.
Right.
To remind us of the fact that God judging the city and the people was sure.
Right. Right.
Chapter 31 contains.
He prophesied the fall.
Yeah.
And then he prophesied the restoration.
As written of Israel in the millennium.
Right.
Okay.
Brian, what was your question? Why is he why you think he a scribe?
I think there's a problem in
I didn't
there.
want to keep.
There's a problem in there. Think about, and you just did this. Think about when Ezekiel wrote.
Okay.
Think about when he wrote. And look at what they're saying.
Exile. The sins which are gone.
Ezekiel was during the exile period.
Okay.
Ezekiel was during the exile period.
But they're talking about before. They're talking about before
So
on
you
there.
saying, so your question,
Right.
how is he writing about before?
How's it right about it for?
It's that before this.
You see?
He's a scribe because someone had to tell him about it.
But that's not before.
No, I'm talking
Not-
about in order for him to write about before.
Yeah, but that's not what they're saying. So in other words, what we're saying is that chapters 1 through 24, all it says that he writes personal things in there. How could he have done that? Now, let me tell you what the answer is really quickly. All right, listen to this. The exile period starts when?
606.
606, all right? Or it could be 605, right? Now listen to the question I'm about to ask. When does the fall take place? When does the fall of Jerusalem take place? The fall of Judah.
586. No, fall of Israel was 721, wasn't it?
Okay, 606 to.
Wasn't it the fall of Israel?
The fall of Israel was 721, 722, yes.
And
So when is the fall of Judah?
586.
Now what about the fall of Jerusalem? When's the fall of Jerusalem?
The same year.
Listen, the fall of Jerusalem and the fall of Judah are the same thing.
Right.
What's not the same is the fall and the beginning of the exile.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're looking at the exile. It didn't say, it's not talking about the exile, it's talking about the actual fall of Judah, of Jerusalem. So if you look at it from the exile, it doesn't make sense because the exile is 606 and he's not writing then. But if I look at it as the fall of Judah or Jerusalem, now it works because that's 587. And we know from Ezekiel chapter 1 verses 1, 2, and 3 that he started in 593. That's enough of your Sunday school lesson. It tells us the book of Ezekiel is date oriented. And so we know without a doubt that he was 30 years when he started, and that his ministry started in 593. That's in verses 1, 2, and 3. I just wanted to give you all that. The hook, you can't mix it up. You can't mix it up. The exile period, those three exportations are different from the fall. The actual fall was 586, 587. So if we talk about that, yes, he could have written about what happened before then.